what a day-to-day life feels and looks like in Los Angeles. Yeah, so I just thought we can get into it. Relax, sit back, watch this video, put it in the background, and let's just talk about LA. Make sure you like and comment too. I would love to know your thoughts about, does LA match the description I'm giving, or are you surprised by anything? Let me know. But let's do this thing, shall we? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about, I guess I should talk about kind of the background of Los Angeles for me. So I'm technically from the East Coast. I'm from Massachusetts, and I moved to LA in, literally get this, in COVID 2020, like literally in the height of COVID, October 2020, because I got a production gig to work on the TV show Shameless in LA. So before that, I've only been to LA for like an internship for college, but we're gonna put that aside, and I'm just gonna tell you what it's like been like living here for 3 years now. So, and maybe how it's different from East Coast. So LA. First question I have is that I get a lot is, how big is LA, and do you need a car to live here? So if you've ever been to New York City, you know how New York is kind of like, I used to live in New York City, it's like literally like skyscrapers. Even if you haven't been there, it feels like that. Everything's really compact. Well, LA is a huge other city as well, but think of it being, sorry, can you help people? Think of it being really expansive. So LA is huge. Holy moly, LA is the widest city ever. You for sure need a car here. I think I do have friends that don't, but there are a lot of neighborhoods in Los Angeles. I live on, and let me tell you some phrases. So like if you ever come to LA, you're not like, sound like such a tourist. So there's things called as, I live on the west side, you have the east side, you have the valley, and then you have like Hollywood and downtown. You have Koreatown, you have Santa Monica, Venice, all that stuff. So west side is what it sounds like. It's on the west side of LA. LA goes all the way, so how LA is situated is you have the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, then you have LA, and then you have LA is like right on the ocean, and then it even goes past, there's like a mountain range, it even goes past the mountains into a valley. So when people say they live in the valley, they literally live over the mountains into a valley. Whereas west side, east side, those are on the ocean side, and west side means you can kind of think of it like LA goes from west to east. I always thought it was like north to south, and it obviously does, but it's more expansive. West to east, I guess you also have Orange County and Long Beach and all these things. There are so many places in LA, and basically LA is really notorious for traffic. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. It's not, to be honest with you, it's really not like the worst thing in the world. I definitely would not, if you're even curious about living in LA or moving to LA, don't be worried about traffic. People just like to complain here. It is nothing super crazy, but something you will notice is like, if you need to go somewhere 9 miles, it's gonna take like 45 minutes to do it. So in that case, it's annoying, but you usually don't have to be making those really long drives. And if you do, you're gonna learn to move, so you don't have to. So I live on the west side, so I'm in like Culver, where the Sony Studios is, and near Century City where Fox is, and then also, if you go closer to the ocean, that's where Santa Monica and Venice are. Santa Monica is known for that big beer, the beer. If you ever see anything like any TV shows from LA, they have like that big Ferris wheel and everything. That's Santa Monica. If you go down that beach further, you get into Venice, which is where, if you ever see anyone, I said, so there are all these different neighborhoods. I live in a neighborhood where actually a lot of coworkers that don't have cars, but they just stay in this neighborhood. Like, they can walk everywhere, which is possible. It's not very common at all to be able to walk everywhere in LA. So you do have to be careful when that, like, not everything's safe. I remember I was in downtown one night, and it's funny, in LA, so downtown is like a place where no one really hangs out. You may disagree with me if you're from Los Angeles, but mostly you might agree. It's not like New York City, it's not like Boston, it's not like SF, or maybe I don't know much about SF, San Francisco, but people live away from downtown. Downtown is like where Skid Row is. It's also where there's a lot of homeless people, and it's just a little dirty and a little grimy and a little sketchy. So it's not a place where at night you can walk alone. I mean, you can, I've done it, but the thing is, like, as in other cities, there's usually enough people around that you feel safe. In Los Angeles, it's not like that downtown all the time. Depends where you are, but my experience was when I had a friend living downtown and I had to like go like 5 blocks away to my car, I ran. Not because I was scared, but because, I just wanted to get there faster, and it felt weird walking in a really empty big street. Yeah, there's the really beautiful thing about LA is there's so many different types of neighborhoods that it feels like there's a neighborhood for each type of person. So if you're coming from New York, and you like Brooklyn, like hipster vibes, that's on east side. So it's not where I am. I'm on west side. It's east side, which it means that it goes, so basically it goes like west side, and then it goes into Hollywood, then it goes east side, and then it can curl around the valley into North Hollywood, Burbank, Glendale, Van Nuys, and then you can even go up north more to like Calabasas, where the Kardashians are, and stuff as well. Yeah, so you have like the east side, you have like Los Feliz, I used to say Los Feliz, but it's Los Feliz. You have Silver Lake, that's kind of where the hipsters live. And on the west side, it's more residential, it's where UCLA is, it's closer to the beach, which is what I love, and it feels more residential, more like family orientated. But there are a lot of young people here too, don't worry, there are a lot of young people everywhere. Yeah. Now I want to get into like, I guess kind of like, so I've been here for 3 years. LA is really notorious for it being like 5 years before you find your friend group. I don't know if you ever heard that, but I've heard that coming here. I also have heard that love in LA doesn't exist, so I'll just talk about those things real fast. I guess the whole 5-year thing, I'm in year 3, and I kind of get what they say. So LA is known for being a transplant city. A transplant city. So, that being said, that everyone that comes to LA is usually from somewhere else, coming here for a reason, usually entertainment, or anything else related, and then they will also leave. The culture here, because of that, doesn't feel grounded in LA. It feels very superficial. LA feels very as if you're in the desert and you just plopped up some buildings and it all happened so fast, so no one really organized the situation. And you usually hear jokes about that's why LA is so big and so fast, is because no one built up, they built out. No one built up, they built out. Whereas New York was, created in a grid and really figured out. LA happened really fast. I believe it happened because of the entertainment industry. So 5 years, it's because it's a transplant city. It does take a while to find your people. You'll like people, and this might be like a growing up as an adult thing to realize, someone in my coffee shop said this and it was very true, is that it sometimes takes a year or two to really get to know someone, which you might be like, that sounds crazy, but it's true. You have a phase when you meet someone where you get really excited and you guys are there for each other, and then you slowly learn who they are, right? Well, LA, it really brings a certain amount of type of people, and you have smile, they'll stop and talk to you, like they're nice. Versus New York, everyone kind of like, when you're walking the street, they won't look at you, or they'll literally look through you. But they're very blunt with what they say. LA is very known for being very nice, but you don't understand people's intentions, if that makes sense. Where in New York, you know people's intentions very easily because they're very blunt about it. Yeah, so 5 years and 3 years in, I've met some really wonderful people, but some people come and they go. I've had some friends that are leaving, and deep down, I feel like I will most likely leave as well soon. I think the reason is because also the people here, there's wonderful things about LA, but I guess I'll vent a little bit. It's not venting, it's letting you know what LA is like. Is like some of the people here are very homogenous. A lot of people here like to look kind of the same, do the same things, and you're more celebrated if you fit in versus if you stand out. Not in a bad way. It's not like people love individuality here and stuff too, but it's just like compared to New York. I guess New York isn't really a good comparison because New York is notorious for being amazing in that they really like you to be individualistic. But you know LA, they have the Botox, they do, you know, they all wear all white. You know, clothing is everyone ends up looking the same. The nice thing, yeah, everyone keeps looking the same. But yeah, let's keep moving on. So, do you need a car? Yes. We can talk about the weather in LA. So, the weather in LA, what you expect to get here is pretty amazing. LA, I think, really ranges for the full year. It goes up to maybe like 80s, 80s, maybe 85, and then it goes to a low of, let's say, like 55. That's your range for all of the year. When I first moved here, whenever you first move here, it depends where you move from. If you move from a place like I did, which had really intense seasons, here it will feel like there are no seasons at all. It is sunny, let's say like 85% of the time. It is maybe cloudy like 10% of the time, and then it rains for 5%. It never rains here. It is always sunny, and because of that, people are usually pretty peppy and happy and relaxed and calm, which is really great if you love the sun. There is seasons the longer you live here, I can tell you. So it does feel like fall. Fall here it's usually like a crisp 65, 70. You know, you could wear a long sleeve, but not at noon, but like at evening or morning you could. LA is very dry, which basically means that the sun is what heats you up. So when you're out in the sun at noon, it will be really warm, but if you go in the shade, you'll cool off. Which is different from other places which have humidity, which is like it just stays the same even if you're in shade. So that's very nice. You layer up here. And yeah, and then it's like that, and then in the winter it's like 60, so you can wear a sweater, but yeah, and then spring is basically the same as fall. Summer's really nice. It gets like the 70s, 80s, and you know, you can go to the beach and feel really good. And then summer usually hits just for a month, from like mid-July to mid-August. It gets extremely hot. I'm talking like 90 degrees, and it's like, you know, that month you wish you have AC, and you know, you have all the windows open even at night, and it's like just for 1 month though. LA weather's really, really nice. You sometimes see trees changing color, but other than that, what's really nice about LA is so big that, and this is the best thing about LA, is that you can actually, this is why you want a car, you can drive anywhere. So There's like 2 hours away. You can go skiing. They have snow. You can go 2 hours down to San Diego to go more surfing. You can go 2 hours up north to go hiking. You can go to Santa Barbara. You can go up to San Francisco. It's very drivable to get whatever you want to get. You get a national forest. So although LA itself doesn't really have like skiing, you have a beach. You do have access via, roads to those places, and it's very popular for people to do that on weekends, which is really fun. I did it last winter. I did it with my sister. For our birthday, we went skiing at a mountain, and it was really fun. Yeah, so that's kind of the weather. It's not really sweater weather. I wish it was a little bit more sweater weather. It's more, t-shirts, maybe bring a jacket, shorts. Yeah. You really don't ever bring an umbrella or a rain jacket because it really never rains here. So you rarely. I don't even have an umbrella here. I don't think. I guess when it rains, you just kind of do what you gotta do. So yeah, that's the weather. That's kind of how LA is situated. It's big. The valley. Valley's always 10 degrees hotter than not the valley. I recommend not living in the valley. I live there. People live in the valley because it's cheaper. You get more property. It's nice. But you come to LA and you want to be in good weather near the ocean. So that's why I moved to the west side. I live 10 minutes away from the beach via car. It's really nice. I went there today. I drove and I parked my little car on the PCH. And if you don't know what the PCH is, it's the Pacific Coast Highway. It's one of the most beautiful highways that run up the west coast of the U.S. all the way from, I think it goes from San Diego, but it might be just LA. I think it's San Diego though, all the way up to Portland, Oregon, and Washington. I'm writing a film that will be taking place on that highway. So if that interests you, subscribe. And I'll be making you guys videos soon about the process of what it's like to make a film, a movie from start to finish. So if that interests you at all, I think it's going to be very, very cool to document and to talk to you guys about. Follow this channel. Also click that join button. Join the Hive. We have such wonderful people there, and I'll give you more intimate access to that whole process in my life and everything. So if that interests you, just give it a click. It's free. Watch the video there and see if it resonates with you. But yeah, so we kind of mentioned, so we talked about weather, how big LA is. You definitely need a car. The transportation system here is decent, but it's not like amazing. You can get around, and I do know people that takes buses and trains. I never have. It's not like New York Transpo or probably where you are. Well, I mean, it's decent. Okay, so let's talk about the people. So I kind of already talked about this, but we'll get more specific. So, making friends is difficult because it's a transplant city. People here are, what's really cool about the people here is that since it is a transplant city, everyone comes from a different experience. So I have friends that are from Colorado, that are from Nebraska, that are from Puerto Rico, that are from all over the world. So it's very awesome because you all share this common experience of LA, but when you really talk to people, you can learn all these different experiences. So that's very fun. I have friends from China. It's very international. And people are very nice, like I said. It takes a little bit. The thing with New York, or LA, I'm gonna cut it straight with you guys, is it feels like a lot of the time people are always looking out for more options. So that's kind of like what I was saying about, love. How people joke there's no love in LA. It's because people feel like they have so many options in LA because it is a transplant city, because people keep moving here and leaving, that people keep hopping around and don't really value the person next to them as much. Now, that can be said that happens in all cities, and it does, but here seem like you're friends with someone, but then you'll realize a year later that, oh, maybe they're just lonely, or maybe they are just looking for better friends, you know? So it's stuff like that. And also it being big, I've been realizing the way you make friends, and this also might just be a thing that's when you grow up, so let me know if this is happening where you live. But I feel like the best way to meet people is by joining hobbies, like volleyball or all these other clubs. And that is very difficult and tricky sometimes to do, but that's what you have to do when you're in LA. So if you move here and you're having trouble making friends, you're gonna have to one day get out of your comfort zone and just go to those events. And the nice thing about when you go to clubs and things is that the people there are also looking for friends. That's why they go. It's not like it's supposed to be so cliquey. It's just people looking for connection. Now, the really beautiful things where I talked about, people are very homogenous here. You know, you have the Botox, you have people are really into looks, especially gay culture. I am in the LGBTQ community. They have a really wonderful gay nightlife here called WeHo, which is West Hollywood. It's literally like a little town just for gay people. Very cute, but classic WeHo people are very masculine, very muscular presenting men, wearing very tight clothing. And you also get very feminine, and you get drag queens, and you get basically all the stereotypical gay culture things that you immediately think of when you think of queer. They all live in WeHo. That is WeHo. WeHo is amazing, but it is a little bit not fully inclusive. Do I have fun there? Yes. It's amazing to go there, especially if you're queer. LA is you feel normal, which is really one of the best things in life you could feel if you ever feel, outcasted or different, is to find a place where you don't think about your differences or it being a different thing, and where it's celebrated. And WeHo is that. It's wonderful because of that. But they are very homogenous. There is a beauty standard in LA. You have the white girls with blonde hair, with beautiful skin that are on, TikTok, and then you have the gay guys who are very muscled up, very tall, very also Botox, and that's it. And the thing I've been dealing with, which is interesting, is I'm realizing those aren't my beauty standards. Those aren't my beauty standards. I don't value those beauty standards as much as I once thought I did. I don't want my partner to be like all that. And because of that, it can be a little bit more difficult to find those people in LA. Because like I said, LA is very homogenous. But it's also wonderful. So if you, yes, I'm giving kind of both sides of the world, right? Like there's pros and cons. The pros about being homogenous and, it being very fit culture is that if you do, join in, you'll become more healthy and more fit and stronger, because LA encourages you to be going to the gym, eating vegan, eating healthy. That's just what everyone here is doing. So, and people do unhealthy things, like a lot of surgeries and stuff too, but I doubt you're gonna be hanging out with those people. I'm not really. But it does encourage you to get in shape. So if you really want to get in shape, if you feel like you've been in bad shape for a really long time in your life, and you're like, Nick, I want to go somewhere that makes me feel, that encourages me, subconsciously even to go to the gym, LA is definitely your place. California is your place, probably even San Diego, a place that is very warm all the time. Because of that, you're wearing less clothing and you're outside and people are going shirtless, and that's the lifestyle here. It's very fun. I don't think people here are really rude. That's the thing to remember. They're nice. So even if you look different, they're going to be nice, but you will feel a little out of place. Not enough where you'll want to make you move, but like I said, sometimes you don't know when people are being nice or when they're being really genuine. passionate here. In LA, people are very entertainment industry driven, so you get a lot of directors and writers and people that are wanting to make a name for themselves, wanting to better their lives. So that's really cool to surround yourself with people like that. I have friends that are really want to become famous, and friends that really, want to make art, and that is amazing. So if that's something that you're into, the people here are really great for that. However, you also do run into the fact that a lot of people come here thinking they'll make it big, and they don't. LA is a place, I don't know, so if you've ever been in the arts or acting or film, and you always had the dream of being a singer or being a main actor, people always say come to LA and do the thing. You can do that, and you should do that. I'm encouraging you to do that, but there are people here that, so many people here are doing that nowadays, that it's a little unreliable and unsteady. If you want me to, let me know in the comments if you made it this far, but if you want me to do a whole ramble about what it's like to do entertainment in Los Angeles, what it's like to be an actor in Los Angeles, what it's like to do art here, let me know and I can do a whole ramble like this there, because I am an artist, and I can do one about how do I sustain myself as an artist in LA. Let me know, but you're gonna have a lot of side jobs, and it really weeds out. It's really funny. The thing here is it really weeds out when you come here for arts or entertainment. It really weeds out who's in it for the actual art and who's in it for the ego of the thing. The fame and publicity you get from making movies and TV shows and all that, which is how we all get introduced to entertainment. I'm talking your favorite actors and all that. People dream to be those people, and so they're like, okay, let me do what they do. The lifestyle of actually doing what they do is nothing like what it's presented. It's a very difficult lifestyle, and a lot of people realize that when they move to LA. So I can do a whole ramble on that if you want me to. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I probably will pass on it, but let me know if that actually interests you, and I will definitely do a ramble. But yeah, let's go on for it. Let's talk about nightlife in neighborhoods. So, okay, I already talked about neighborhoods a little bit. You have the hipstery place on the east side. West side's residential. Hollywood is classic Hollywood, but that's where all the tourists kind of live. And then you have the valley. The valley, just think of the valley as being like a separate state. Everyone that lives in the valley goes out in the valley, and no one really goes out in the valley that's from not the valley. Most times the valley. So nightlife. We have WeHo, West Hollywood. That's where all the gays go. If you want to go dancing, if you want to shake your booty to some good pop music, make out with someone of the same sex, that is your place to go. It's really more dominated towards gay men. If you're a woman and you like women, there is a bar. They need more lesbian bars, let's be honest. They don't have really any in WeHo. On the east side, they do have a lesbian bar that's called Honey's, something Honey's, that I went to that was all women. It was so sick. So there's a place for you. If you're not gay, if you are very straight acting and very sororities and fraternities, your place might be to go to Santa Monica. Santa Monica is, so think of all these places. You're not gonna go to both places in the night. It's what's your vibe, and we're just gonna choose the area. So if you feel like dancing and being around gay people and just having a blast, go to WeHo. If you are for our sorority, you go to Santa Monica, and they have these. I've been to Santa Monica. It's really cool. They have this place called the Bungalow. You literally go. It's the classic LA. Remember who I was talking to you about the homogenous, Botox, blonde hair, really beautiful girls, tall, really straight guys. If that's your type, no shaming it. We all have our types. Go for it. We all have our different tribes, which is cool. Also consider joining the Hive. I already said that, but the Hive is cool because we're all different, but we're all supporting each other in life, which is really cool. That's the goal. It's getting as many different type of people into that Hive where we all are really just supporting each other. We may be really different, but we're all similar at the end of the day. So whatever your tribe is outside of this channel, where it's outside and they have all these different rooms, and they all look like different places in a home. So there's one room that's like an office desk. There's one that has a living room with a fire. There's one that has a patio outside. There's one that has, it's like a bathroom. One that has a billiards table. Really fun. It's called the Bungalow. It's right near Santa Monica, like Pierre. You'll totally know what I'm talking about. There's also cocktail bars in Santa Monica, which is really cool. And then there's also this place called the Victorian. So if you don't remember these names, but you go to LA and you describe what I'm describing to you, people will tell you where it is. It's that popular. The Victorian is a literal house. It's off of Venice. It's outside Venice, basically. Venice and Santa Monica are kind of like the same area. Maybe it's like a 10-minute drive. But it's also, I think, sorority and fraternity people. And it's not just those people. Like, you will have queer people and you'll have, mixes of people. It's LA. That's what LA is. But the majority vibe is that vibe, the frat sorority vibe. And this house, it's really cool. It's like 3 levels, and each level has a different type of music. And you go, and it literally is like a big house. They have like stairwells and bathrooms, and it's very cute. And bars, so you have that. Then so we have West Side like that, like Santa Monica and Venice. Then you have WeHo, which is the gay capital of LA. You have downtown, which I'm not really around a lot. The only times I've been there, they have like little clubs and bars. It feels more grungy, but I might be wrong. I just haven't been there a lot. I did go to a queer like club there, and it was fun. But it's downtown LA. I guess it's like kind of all LA. It just feels more, like not grungy, but it just feels like everyone goes. It's not like a place you walk around late at night, I don't think. It's kind of hard to explain. You have Hollywood, which is like all the really bougie areas. They have rooftop places to go out. It's where all the tourists really go. Santa Monica also has some tourists, but like tourists really go out in Hollywood. You also get a lot more homeless people over there. Oh, I should talk about homeless people in a sec. I will. Stay by. And then you have the Valley, which is its own thing. So nightlife is fun. I've lived there for 3 years. I don't know all the different pockets, and then I think East Side, think of it like hipster, like really cool dive bars, like that's the vibe. You choose one place for each, for like one night. You can't really like hop around. That's kind of LA. You just kind of like choose your thing. And the thing that's hard with LA too is like you will want to Uber. Drunk driving here is a big thing, which is very dangerous. So you gotta be very aware of yourself. But it is a real thing. I'll talk about the homeless population. It's heavy in LA, but depending on where you live, you might not deal with that as much. Being on the West Side, I don't deal with that as much. When you're in Hollywood, really touristy places, it is very heavy, like Hollywood, Venice, Santa Monica. It is getting worse, like in the East Side too. It's getting worse, but hopefully it's getting better as well. I feel like everywhere, every city has its problems with it. LA has its problems with it. But it is possible to find places where it doesn't impact you. However, it is good to be reminded that it's an issue. So it is an issue here. I already talked about traffic. I'll talk about celebrities. So there are a lot of celebrities in LA, and you will run into them. They are not like an extinct animal. They're like something you'd see every once a month. Obviously, the more celebrities you know, the more people that you will know that you see. They're just like you and I. The cool thing about LA is it is such an entertainment place. The people that you love, that you see on TV, do live here. They do work here, and they do go out here. I've been in line right next to a guy from 13 Reasons Why. And I've heard so many, you will hear so many stories of people meeting famous people here, and it's you really don't even think twice about it. Also, if you work in entertainment like I do, you will be around them all the time, which is very cool. Yeah. I saw James Corden in Venice one time. He was nice, I guess. We were walking past. So, yeah, you'll see a lot of celebrities, which is very, very fun if you like that. And the cool thing about living in LA, and if you move around LA a lot, so my job used to be a location scout, so I travel LA a lot, you will recognize where people film things, because the studios and TV shows will always, everything is, it's rare that it takes place in LA, but they film as if they're in Georgia or, anywhere else in LA, and they will, so you'll see the place, you'll recognize we're in LA, but then it'll be like Georgia license plates, and you'll be like, that's funny. Yeah, but LA is very good, so yeah, it's very big, you need a car, weather in LA is very awesome, people are very nice here, you don't always know their intention, and they are always moving in and out, which can be a little difficult if you like stability. Nightlife, I think also people say 5 years, because I think that's normally how long people last here before they leave. So you kind of get a sense of who's staying, who's not. Nightlife, there's all those different neighborhoods. There's WeHo, which has all the gay areas. There's West Side, which has like more of the sorority frat, straight people vibes. You have Glendale, and well, not Glendale, but like downtown, which is more maybe rugged, and then East Side, like it's over like in Los Feliz. That's more the dive bar-y vibes. If you're in LA, and I got any of that wrong, let me know in the comments. Like I said, this is just from my own experience and what I've heard from people. So I know, this is one-sided, but yeah. We talked about traffic being very hard here, and we talked about celebrities. Now let me think if there's anything else. If you love the ocean, this place is amazing. I literally went and drove to the beach today, and I just like walked, and yeah. So pros is the weather's really nice. It's really big. There's a lot of different types of people you're going to meet here. A lot of passionate people. You can drive to the mountains. You can drive to the beach. You can drive hiking. You can drive everywhere. Rent. Oh my god, how did I not talk about this sooner? Rent is very expensive here. It's like New York. It is very hard to buy a house here. You will get $1 million house that looks like the size of a $150,000 house. It is so small. So yeah, rent is very expensive here. Gas is very expensive here as well. It costs a lot to live here, but you do get a lot of good perks. And like when you work here, your pay supplements that, so like it's all equivocal. Yeah, so there's the pros. The cons of LA are there's no seasons. I guess these are the cons that I've noticed is like it takes a lot to feel grounded here sometimes. It feels like every day kind of feels like the same here, which is fun, but also a little disorientating if you're used to the East Coast like I am for seasons. The homelessness is hard. There's nature here, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of nature here. It feels kind of deserty. That's a little difficult sometimes if you really love nature. But other than that, there's not a lot of cons. There are a lot of pros. I think it's just one of those places that if you ever visit, you will feel how it feels to you. And don't be alarmed. Every person that has come to LA has initially hated it. Everyone that comes to LA initially hates it, which is the funniest thing. It is definitely a city that grows on you. You have to get used to it. Understand it. It's not a place. Think of it. It's like kind of thorny. It takes a little bit to understand where you fit in and how it's supposed to feel. It's not welcoming to everyone. We say we are, but when you move here, you'll understand what that kind of feels like. It's very any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll answer them, or I can always do part 2 of this. I looked up some questions, that's what I was kind of answering on this video. And yeah, I guess that's it. I hope that you have a wonderful night and relax. Give this channel some love via likes, comment, or share this with anyone that you think might be into it. I hope you found this useful and exciting to hear kind of like what life is like in Los Angeles. And consider joining our membership program too. That would mean the world to me. It helps support